So there are a number of things that we're going to look at here, and they all have to do with managing our virtual machines so that we can manage the rest of our infrastructure more easily, more efficiently, and more reliably. Okay? This requires us to be able to build our virtual machines in a more repetitive fashion by using clones and templates. It requires us to be able to modify our virtual machines if the initial settings that we built for our virtual machines don't really work throughout the entire lifespan of the VM itself. It requires us to be able to migrate our virtual machines from host to host or data store to data store in order for us to be able to take a maintenance period on a particular ESXi host or a particular data store. It of course requires us to be able to take snapshots so that we have a rollback mechanism if we want to perform a patch or any other sort of change in a production virtual machine. Okay? We also need to protect our virtual machines and their infrastructure through the process of storage replication and virtual machine backup. All very important things that we're going to have a look at here in this particular lesson. So there are a number of different topics, of course, that we've been talking about here. 8 lessons in all here in Module 7. We're going to start with templates and clones and then move straight into working with content libraries. This allows us to standardize the guest operating system configuration for our virtual machines, making sure that we don't have to do things like apply security patches and make any configuration changes over and over and over and over again as we decide to deploy our VMs into production. We're then going to look at modifying virtual machines. That is, what are the things that we can change once a VM is already built? Can we add or remove virtual hardware? Those sorts of things. In lesson number 4, we're going to be looking at vMotion. And in fact, what we've done is we've taken the whole topic of migrating virtual machines and spread it out over 3 different lessons. So lessons 4, 5, and 6 deal with vMotion, enhanced vMotion compatibility, and storage vMotion. All having to do with migrating virtual machines from host to host, regardless of what CPU that host might be on or what type of storage, right? We're going to learn all of the rules around that. Okay? In lesson number 7, we're going to be looking at virtual machine snapshots. Now, there are a lot of misconceptions about virtual machine snapshots, so we're going to clear some of those up and give you all of the right ways to work with our virtual machines here when it comes to the snapshots. What are the good use cases for snapshots, and what are some of the things that people mistakenly use snapshots for? Finally, in lesson number 8, we're going to have a brief look at the process of replication and backup and some of the basic foundational technology around replication and backup. So when it comes to choosing the right solutions for you, you've got all the information that you need. Well, let's go ahead and dive straight in and have a look at our virtual bean scenario when it comes to virtual machine management. Now, of course, this is going to apply not just to this fictitious coffee company, but also to you and your organization as well. All of these different things that we need to be able to do on a daily basis with our virtual machines. Being able to provision and deploy virtual machines into production without having to start from scratch every time, and doing it in a very consistent and error-free fashion. Being able to maintain our VMs, patching and upgrading our VMs, and still having a mechanism to allow us to roll back if for some reason those patches go awry. Backing up our virtual machines, making sure that we have our application data backed up on a regular basis. Backing up virtual machines and backing up physical machines are a very different sort of, have a very different sort of set of requirements. So we're going to look at the different ways and compare backing up virtual machines to backing up physical machines. It's a very different system. And then finally, we're going to look at our business continuity and disaster recovery solutions to make sure that not only do our individual components within the infrastructure, do we avoid single points of failure there, but also our physical locations can be a single point of failure for an entire business. So we want to avoid that as well. And that's where we come up with disaster recovery and business continuity, and looking at things like replication and how we can manage remote replication of our data stores. So we need to know all about this stuff so that we can make the right decisions for our organization as well as for virtual beings here. When we come back, we'll have a look at lesson 1, working with templates and clones.